What's going on, guys? Rylan Russell here again, and today we're going to be talking about the 3 worst mistakes I have made so far as a freelance videographer. All right, so I've been freelance videography, photography, side hustling for about 12 years or so. My full-time job is that I'm a worship and media arts pastor. Absolutely love it. It's my dream job, but sometimes you gotta get a little extra cash to feed those babies.
I'm hungry. Now, Rolly, you've just had your dinner. But I am just the same.
I've made some mistakes along the way, so hopefully these will help you out if you're kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing. Getting into it. So the first mistake that I made that really bit me in the butt was getting in the habit of filming a job or going out and videoing something and then waiting to offload my footage until I was ready to edit. So I might go out, film an interview session. And particularly the time that it really did hurt me was I was doing an interview for a nonprofit company for trying to get funding for college. And we went out to about an hour away, filmed a kid doing his interview, came back, and I knew I had other interviews coming up, and so I just waited to offload that footage. Had a really large SD card, no big deal, right?
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Well, the time came for me to start editing stuff, and lo and behold, I had formatted that card without dumping all the footage off onto a hard drive and backing up that hard drive onto the cloud. So I had to do the unthinkable, most uncomfortable thing ever and call that client and say, I think I just messed this up and somehow the footage is not where I thought it was. We have nothing.
Are you stupid or something?
So I learned really quickly after that, it doesn't matter what time of day that I come home from a shoot. The first thing I do is I get out my MacBook and I pull out that SD card and I back up that footage. That way I've got it on the SD card and a hard drive just to begin with. Now, if I was really good, I'd have cloud backup going, but I don't have gigabit internet speed. So for now, that's the first initial backups that I do. So I would tell you emphatically, if you're getting into videography stuff, photography, offload your footage right after the shoot. All right, that was tip number 1. All right, so the second really big mistake that I made was another organizational mistake, and that was not keeping a calendar. Whenever I was first getting into this, I didn't have a ton of jobs, and maybe, that's where you're at. You might have one every other month or something like that. And so I was able to pretty much just kind of keep track of it. And one day I was here at the church working, and I got an email from a client that I was working with on a project. And they said, hey, I'm not sure what happened, but, we went ahead and went on back to Kansas, which is about 4 hours away, and maybe we can catch up later. Well, what I had done was this client that I was working with in Kansas, this was before like Zoom and stuff, and they really wanted to meet in person. So we had scheduled a meeting at a restaurant here in town, and it was just a week out, and so I didn't put it in my calendar. And I was just working away here at the church, and they didn't have my phone number for some reason. And they went to Cracker Barrel, sat there for 3 hours waiting on me.
And I'm starting to get nervous that all of this was for nothing.
And then drove back home. And luckily, they still worked with me, but guys, you got to be organized in your calendar. And one app that I love to use, the service that I use, is Square. Square has been great. It started with just those little swiper cards that you could put in your phone. And for my band, I had one of those so we could sell stuff at the merch table. But I love what they offer now, and I use it for every single thing that I do. I send estimates out for potential clients whenever they have a job. I can line out every single detail of that job. They can accept it and prepay whatever the agreement might be, and take credit card payments and all those kinds of things. But also, even if they're not paying by credit card, I love just being able to track all my sales in there, and for tax stuff, have everything written and in one spot. So if you're looking for something like that, I can definitely recommend Square. I'll leave a link in the description that can help me out if you sign up for Square as well. So let's scratch each other's backs, right? All right. Number 3, the biggest mistake that I think I've made in the last 2 or 3 years has been undervaluing myself and the work that I can do for people. When I first started out, probably like you, I was doing mostly work for friends of friends, family, and you kind of start out giving everybody those same really low friend discount rates. You're working with maybe a great nonprofit, and you don't want to overcharge them because you believe in what they're doing, and so you start out giving all these really great prices. But then what I realized was that everybody was saying yes to every quote that I gave them, which is actually not a good thing in business, right?
Right.
If everybody's saying yes, then my prices are too low. And what I was doing was undervaluing me, my talent, my time, and also undercutting everybody else in the same kind of industry. So this year I've changed my model, and really my prices have basically doubled. And I can sell one job for $1,000, or I could do 4 jobs for $250. That is a no-brainer for me now that I'm at this place. I'm okay with that. It's not my full-time gig, and maybe that's you. You're just side hustling. Man, you can do the same thing. I heard somebody say you have to think about, what is this video that you're going to make for this company going to do for their business, and how is it adding value to them? How much of an impact is it going to have on them? Recently, I did some videos for a school, and let's say they get 20 new students. How many thousands of dollars is that going to add to them on a yearly basis? So don't shy away from charging too much. It's okay to not have everybody say yes to you. Because you're probably charging too little if that's the case.
Our prices have never been lower.
All right, so I hope those 3 things helped you. Remember, offload that footage right away, keep a calendar, get organized, and remember to value yourself. You're worth a lot more than you're probably charging people right now. And remember, we can do a lot of great things, do it all for the right reasons. We'll see you in the next one.